My beloved, have you ever wondered what it truly means to live in the state of no mind? What does it mean to be free of the endless chatter of thoughts, the ceaseless waves of memories and worries, the restless tides that drag the soul away from its center? Is it possible for you, who feels so bound to the mind and its illusions, to rise above its storm and rest in the calm sky of spirit? To reach the state of no mind is not to annihilate the mind, nor to despise it, for the mind is a precious instrument given by God for the experience of His creation. Rather, to reach no mind is to transcend it, to realize the self beyond thought, to enter the stillness that was always there before the mind arose, and will remain even after the last thought dissolves. It is not a void, not an emptiness in the worldly sense, but rather a fullness so great that no thought can contain it. It is the vast consciousness of the soul, united with the infinite spirit. The mind is like a mirror, and for most people, it is covered with the dust of desires, attachments, fears, and habitual thought patterns. Every reflection on this mirror is distorted by the dust, and so man sees not reality as it is, but reality as his mind colors it. When you polish the mirror, when you wipe away all dust through meditation, devotion, and self-mastery, you find that the mirror is no longer projecting images of limitation. Instead, it becomes transparent, and what shines through is the eternal light of the soul. The state of no mind is the moment when this mirror ceases to reflect passing shadows and reveals the ever-present radiance of spirit. The ordinary mind is restless, always moving from one object to another, like a monkey leaping from branch to branch. It does not rest on anything for long, and its nature is to generate ceaseless ripples. If you try to silence it by force, it rebels even more, for thoughts resist suppression. The true path is not suppression, but transcendence. Just as waves on the surface of the ocean subside when the wind ceases, so too the restless thoughts subside when the currents of desire and attachment are stilled. The yogi does not fight thoughts, but instead withdraws the energy that feeds them. In meditation, he withdraws the life force from the senses and from the turbulent regions of the mind, bringing it inward and upward to the higher centers of awareness. To reach no mind, you must first understand the nature of thought. Every thought is an energy vibration, born of past impressions, present desires, or subconscious tendencies. The mind constantly projects these vibrations outward, creating an endless film that you mistake for reality. But thoughts cannot touch the soul, which is pure consciousness. They only veil it. When you sit in meditation and observe the thoughts without attachment, they gradually lose their power. Imagine you are watching clouds drifting across the sky. If you cling to none of them, they will pass, and soon the sky will be revealed in its vast blue emptiness. That sky is the no-mind state, the vastness of spirit untouched by thought clouds. Yogananda often said that meditation is the art of God contact. The true practice of meditation is not simply to think about God, nor to repeat prayers endlessly, but to interiorize the mind so deeply that the very need for thought disappears. In the silence between thoughts, in the pause where no word intrudes, God whispers His presence. The yogi learns to prolong that pause until it becomes the natural state of awareness. This is why techniques such as Kriya Yoga are so important. By directing the life energy inward and upward through the spine, the practitioner calms the restless currents that produce thought. When the breath becomes still, when prana is withdrawn, the mind also becomes still, for breath and thought are deeply interlinked. In that stillness, the door to superconsciousness opens. But remember, no mind is not unconsciousness. Many mistake it for sleep or a trance where awareness is lost. No mind is superconscious awareness, more awake than ordinary waking. It is a state where you are fully aware, yet no longer bound to the noise of mental activity. It is like the difference between standing in a noisy marketplace and standing alone on a mountaintop. On the mountaintop, the silence is vast, and yet your awareness is heightened, expanded, filled with peace. The journey to no mind requires purification of the heart as much as mastery of meditation. For as long as desires pull the attention outward, the mind cannot be stilled. Desire is the fuel of thought. Cut the roots of unnecessary desire through discrimination and devotion, and you cut off the endless chain of restless thoughts. Yogananda said, "When the heart is cleansed of desires, the mind becomes a faithful servant of the soul." Thus, cultivate contentment, simplicity, and love for God. The purer your love, the quicker the mind will dissolve into the vast silence. Devotion plays a supreme role. To try to reach no mind by sheer will alone may make the heart dry and mechanical. But when you fill your heart with yearning for God, when you long for Him more than for anything else, your thoughts naturally quiet, for all their energy flows into love. The restless monkey mind is tamed not by force but by the sweetness of devotion. A child crying for its mother does not analyze its thoughts. It simply yearns, and in that yearning, all distractions fade. The state of no mind is not cold detachment but the warm silence of divine love, where God alone occupies the heart. In the no-mind state, there is a realization of the eternal present. The mind constantly oscillates between past and future, dwelling on memories or imagining what is to come. Rarely does it rest in the now, but the soul exists only in the eternal present, in timeless awareness. When thoughts fade, you realize that there is only now, and in that now exists infinity. This realization brings a bliss beyond description. Yogananda called it ever-new joy. It is not a joy that depends on any object or achievement, but a joy that is self-sustained, springing from the soul itself. Disciples often asked, "Master, how can I stop my thoughts? They come uninvited even in meditation." And Yogananda would gently smile and say, "Do not resist them, rather go deeper. Focus on the spiritual eye. Breathe with awareness. Chant God's name with devotion. Thoughts are shadows. They cannot survive the light of God's presence. This is the secret. Do not fight the shadows. Bring in the light. The more you commune with God, the less power thoughts will have over you. Eventually, they will dissolve on their own, like mist before the rising sun. When the state of no mind is attained, you discover that your true essence was never bound by thoughts in the first place. You were always the witness, the pure consciousness watching the play of the mind. The waves of thought rise and fall, but the ocean of consciousness remains unmoved. To identify with the thoughts is bondage. To identify with the consciousness is liberation. The yogi who rests in no mind is free, even if the world around him is full of turmoil. Do not think this state is reserved only for saints of the past. It is your destiny too. You are not the slave of the mind. You are the master. You need only remember your true nature, again and again, until it becomes your permanent realization. Begin each day with meditation, stilling the breath, focusing at the spiritual eye, calling on God with love. In daily life, practice mindfulness. Remain aware of the present. Let thoughts come and go without clinging. Slowly, you will notice spaces of silence between thoughts, like gaps between notes of music. Treasure these gaps, expand them, until silence becomes the dominant reality. The state of no mind is the doorway to samadhi, the union of the soul with spirit. It is the gateway to liberation. In this state, you will know what scriptures mean when they say, "Be still and know that I am God." For only when the mind is still can the soul realize its oneness with the infinite. Yogananda himself often entered such states of ecstasy, where the outer world faded completely, and only the ocean of cosmic consciousness remained. He urged his disciples not to settle for anything less, for this is your birthright as children of the divine. My beloved, strive with determination, but also with sweetness. Do not be discouraged if thoughts still arise. They are like echoes of past lives, stored impressions surfacing to be released. With patience, with devotion, with regular practice, they will lose their hold. Do not measure progress by the absence of thoughts alone, but by the growing peace and joy in your heart. Even a few moments of deep stillness in meditation can transform your whole life, filling your days with clarity, love, and freedom. And when at last you rest in the state of no mind, you will see that it was not a new achievement, but a homecoming. You will realize that the silence was always there, beneath the noise, waiting for you. The sky was never lost, though it was hidden by clouds. The soul was never bound, though it seemed veiled by thoughts. The state of no mind is simply the unveiling of what you already are: infinite, eternal, blissful consciousness, one with God.